Welcome to Simon on the Sofa. Hello guys. Simon on the Sofa, harmonising the room with my very good guest, and I've been excited to talk to my recent friend. I know you all hear me say this all the time now. This is Vaz. Hello Vaz.
Hello Simon.
Everybody says that. So yeah, thank you for joining. If this is the first time you've come to the Sofa, then yeah, just listen to the conversation, and I hope you can take something into your own journey. And we have no clue what this is, where we're gonna go, yeah, enjoy. So, hello sir, thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining me, for us creating this space. So I recently come into your sort of energy, as it were, because through the meetup group, and something really, something authentic sort of called out to me in relation to what you was creating and so on. So I thought I'll come down and explore a little bit,
Check it out.
Yeah, my path sort of, I'm sure you a bit like there's no coincidences, yeah?
Oh yeah, totally. Synchronicity is everything.
Right.
Everything's got meaning.
Yeah. So, so I don't, this for me is just, some call it being guided, some say, you're driven to, do whatever. But since being in this sort of path of love, which I call it, it really has just, each thing has just led to the, next person, and that person's really, been a massive gift to my journey, really.
Yeah, I love that. When you open it, just you see the signs everywhere, don't you?
Totally.
People come in, and everyone's got something to share. It's like an open door. You just see all these open doors. You walk through one with 10 other open doors.
Yeah, exactly.
So, following from there as well.
Yeah, totally. So, there goes the buzzer. That was like, you're out.
You know, get one of those bars for your buzzer.
Yeah, I need somebody to do the singing bowl. You said the wrong thing, Vaz. You must leave. So one of the things I was thinking about talking to you about was just really how that's the postman. He wants to talk on the sofa as well. So basically, how love shows up. Because love is a real loaded word, isn't it?
Yeah.
In today's day and age, and it's also a word that's very much been a little bit lost. It's just a word, a man-created word. It's a bit misplaced, and we do a hell of a lot of what I would probably label as negative stuff in the name of love. Yeah. So how does how's love sort of showing up in your path so far? Because I mean, everything you're doing really is very similar to me in relation to self-awareness and ways that people can access love, self-love, and just be in that vibration, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is what I love about it. It's like my path has always been about, I've gone almost the other way to appreciate what love is. I've gone down like the self-worthlessness route, not understanding what I'm about, what is inside here, looking outside for that love, which I later realised is all about power and attachments and all things like that, trying everything outside to try and fill up this void inside. And then as I went through that journey, had depression for such a long time, about 15 years of it.
15 years?
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out what's going on. I was open spiritually when I was younger, but I still didn't have a clue what was going on, because there wasn't really a spiritual community back then, when I was growing up anyway, as there is now. It's exploding now, it's amazing. But at that time, I wasn't quite getting it, like psychologically, what was going on, why was I feeling all this? And then as I went through that path, I realised these things aren't serving me, all these things which I'm trying to chase after, which I'm conditioned to by society to try and get, or have, or want, I don't want any of these things anyway. I'm trying to want them just because I'm feeling like I need to want them.
Yeah.
And then as I start to let go of them, I have spiritual crisis throughout these points, and as I meet each one, I start to realise, there's another path here. It's simple. Stop listening to that really loud voice. There's a little quiet voice in there. Trying to speak to you.
Yeah, Vaz, come on, man. This way's better. It's like, no, it's not. No way is it. Yeah, true.
And that one will never be loud, because it's not trying to overtake you. It's not trying to control you. It's not trying to push you in a direction. It's just saying, look, there's another path. That one is trying to control you. It's like that part. And I'm not trying to sound like schizophrenic here.
No, that's fine. I totally get it.
That's what I would call my ego part of me, the part which doesn't understand this well.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say that ego is something you need to get away from, but my belief is that ego is a part that needs to be loved, actually. Yes,
I'm with you 100%.
This is it, and I think it's more separation when you say get away from the ego. Because the ego, I feel, it's like the inner child in me just doesn't have a clue about this planet at all, doesn't understand, thinks, I've got to go and chase the money or chase the power or get attachments or, have all the addictions and all these things which, outside or what other people think of me and things like that. That's what my ego is trained to think that is important. Yeah. Whereas the other voice inside me is saying, what you believe about yourself, how you feel, changes everything outside. Change your perceptions of reality completely. So the way I'm looking at reality will change instantly depending on which vibration I'm going with. So when you're talking about vibration, that's how I was like learning constant, throughout my life, is that vibration. When I go with that vibration of love, that vibration, I see my world completely different perspective.
Yeah, totally.
And I go up and I stop seeing from that ground level where everything, all you see is the buildings around you. You don't see have a clue which direction you're going.
You're blinkered.
Yeah. And start to go up, you start to see, geez, there's a path here for me. There's a purpose. Not everything's out to get me. I'm actually moving the buildings around. I'm the one actually creating one deep on this level.
Totally.
And there's no one out to get me. The universe isn't out to get me. Yeah. People aren't out to get me. And I moved from that blaming perspective, which, I was in real deep, like blaming everything around me. Why is this happening? Layered. Yeah. Yeah. To, I can change anything I want. Yeah. Anything. Whatever anyone's told me in my life, I won't be limited by that. And also to realise that I created that to challenge me as well. Yeah. Anything, I can look from a place of love and not to look and blame or attack or separation. Yeah. Powerful. Yeah. I mean, this is an ongoing journey as well, which is what I love about it.
It's infinite.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's totally infinite. It's so much there. That's it's really interesting. I love how you've described the little voice and how the little voice will never be overpowering and dominating and aggressive and abusive and so on because it's coming from that space of love, Mm-hmm. And I love the way that you've painted the picture of the big, the big bad boy, that you know what I mean, that needs the gratification, the confirmation, the objects, the things, the anger, the aggression, all of it, it's really interesting. And also it's I sensed we had a lot of similarities. You knew this anyway when we met, but it was funny because I went through a process that for ages I getting rid of the ego. So it was funny because I very much started to understand the ego, and I understood the ego as being pain and suffering. Yeah. So the ego was only on a path of pain and suffering, and that fuel that it needed conflict, anger, aggression, separation, competition. It needed lust, drugs, crime, and it needed these things to create this fuel of negativity, as it were. Yeah. So when I started to observe exactly what you said, like the way the worlds are, and now that I have a very clear gauge of what the realities can look like and what the possibilities are from those two places, it's really clear that that destructive side, that, if you want to call it negative side for the use of words, it was interesting because I was noticing that whilst I was in doing those negative, if you want, you call them negative things, I was actually enjoying them. Yeah. So whilst I was taking drugs, I was enjoying it. Yeah. Whilst I was burgling houses and being a thief and smuggling drugs and selling drugs and so on, I was enjoying it. Yeah. I thought I was the man.
Yeah.
You know, that was it. This was a good life. I was doing good. I thought I was helping people out. I was giving them a good batch. You know, it's like, and I thought I was really in a place of survival, and and this was it. And I think very much similar to you, I started to sort of maybe observe that, hold up, this doesn't feel right. Certain things were not feeling right. I think that's the gauge.
You're right, because in the moment, you actually feel it's your world, it's your reality.
Yes.
It feels, you wouldn't carry on if you didn't feel that was your truth, right?
Yeah,
and that's what's
totally.
happening. And that's what I was doing as well. It's like you feel, and that locks us in. That's the thing, isn't it?
That's the trap.
That's the trap, yeah.
Yeah, because you're right, that locks you in, and you think, well, okay, this is my world. And for a time, it is your world.
Yeah.
It really is your world. I mean, and you have experiences in that, ups and downs, goods and bads, as it were, just like everybody. But then what happened was that I then realised, when I understood the ego, I was like, okay, the ego is the pain and suffering, the ego is this. And then I realised exactly what you said. And just for me, this is just how I'm, from my unfolding, that the ego is part of us and always wants to be part of us, and we need in order to be and drive us and do what we do. But it's craving love.
Exactly.
It's so craving love. It just wants recognition and love and support, and to be nurtured, and also to be noticed.
Yeah, exactly.
But noticed from noticed from an authentic place, not from a rebellious place. Not like, if you don't, I'll cut your throat so you know who I am. It's like, no, actually, I'll hug you so you know, so you know that I'm here and I'm having this experience. So what I now call it now, just for sort of talking sakes, is I call it the out of aligned ego. So when I'm observing either myself, or if I'm working with somebody else, for example, I'm very much trying to show the different sides of, like, this is almost an out of aligned ego, and this is a, harmonious, inline, connected ego, as it were. Do you see what I mean? So it's sort of almost, bringing the...
That's so funny, because I've been calling it the untamed ego.
Okay.
But it's funny, the journey that you're saying, that's because I do the same thing, because I was reading a lot of spiritual books, and I thought...
Tole?
Yeah. Well, at the beginning I thought, you have to separate the ego, because a lot of them were teaching to do that. But now I'm looking at, those teachings are coming out of duality consciousness.
Totally.
And now if we're going to this, and it's amazing, it's like we're all experiencing something and then going in and realising you can't separate apart from yourself. From yourself.
Yeah, totally.
And leave it behind, because you can't do that. Then that's amazing that we're coming up to the same, we're coming into the same philosophies by that unity consciousness coming in.
And it is, and and it's coming in as well. It's very much coming in, and you could say, because a lot of people sometimes say, I don't know if they say this to you, oh well, I've got to have these experiences, or you've got to have the pain, and you've got to have the suffering, and maybe on one level you do, because it is part of the whole. You do. But for me, coming into the consciousness of love, self-awareness, acceptance, allowing, no judgment, no expectation, no condition, observing and being the observer and spectator of, like you said, your reality, and how you can. When people hear us go, oh, we can move houses, they're like, what do I mean I move houses? You know what I mean? What they go like that, because we're really strong, right? I've been to the gym today, but it's moving, understanding that your reality is created through your choices, through your actions, through the way that you choose to see the reality. Because a lot of people see reality as they are, not as it is, right?
Do
you see what I mean? So that then when them blinkers come off, and I call it realize, and I call it realize, but also real eyes. Do you see what I mean? Because almost like I started to see things. Oh my God, there's more going on here that I'm a part of, and I did not even know.
So this is it. It's like a kaleidoscope until we actually see what's going on. Because this is everything. Single thing we've been taught since the moment we got here, all those opinions, judgments, as a kid, adolescent, all our peer groups, all those things we've been taught. Me and you are already seeing completely different reality, even though we're sitting on the same sofa. We're seeing a completely different world to each other. And we, that's
how it is.
That's how it is. But what I find amazing about love, the more you get into love, it's like you see more of that spectrum, more and more and more of what's really there. And like you're saying, you stop seeing through those glasses. You start to shed, and you actually see what reality is all about, and stop seeing that illusion, because this place is an illusion when we're looking through those. Our perceptions are so filtered like that.
So limited.
So limited, yeah, exactly.
And so conditioned.
That's it.
And you know, what you said there about we're both here, but we're both seeing a different reality, which is so true. But also what love allows, or the essence of love allows, is because you're in that place of allowing and accepting that we're seeing different realities. The irony is, and it's like the reverse, I call it the reverse dichotomy. The irony is, I then see through your eyes.
Through love,
Right, do you see what I mean? Because it's like, well, you know, you're having an experience, beautiful, wonderful. You know, I'm having an experience, beautiful, wonderful. They're having an experience, beautiful, wonderful. Everybody's just having this, and then through that allowing, you can enter each other's space as that collective one, and really, you know, vibrate from that frequency. And where that can take you to is you know, it's the possibilities are endless. When we, I mean, if you think what we've created in a place of negativity, fear, judgment, expectation, and condition, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if you think of what's been created on this planet, think of what can be created in a place of allowing, no judgment, no expectation, no condition, elevation, unity, collectiveness, joint, boom.
And that's where we're at right now. This is what's so exciting right now, because this is where we're at, isn't it? That tipping point.
There is a tipping point,
And you're right. We've done, look at what this planet's done. Imagine where we can go. We could just, the evolution would just be exponential for humanity. Every single part of it. We just explore, because I think that's what we're, by nature, we're explorers. We want to explore everything. Like our minds, we want to explore, you know, the earth, we want to explore the stars, we want to explore, you know, get down to the quantum level, we want to explore everything. And that, even, we've done so much already, but that isn't even, it's a fraction of what we're able to do, because we're limited so much by the conditionings of everything out there, which is so many fear-based philosophies, but all of them are changing as well.
Yeah, they're opening up.
And I love what you said before as well, that love vibration, that's what connects us all. Like, we're seeing different realities, but that is what connects us from the heart. And we are just like one being, just vibrating and seeing each other. One
massive energy transference where you don't have to do and be everything. You already are part of everything. So why do you need to be everything? For example, you know, the separation comes from, I need to be better than you. Oh, you've written a book. Oh, well, I need to write a book. Oh, you've got a, you know, you've created a spiritual college and you help people. Oh, I need to have a spiritual college and help people. Oh, you've got people that are in the so-called peace vibration. For example, organisations at this current planet, and this isn't a point the finger or judgment, but this is a fact that's happening, is that the so-called people that are trying to create peace, for example, are competing with other peacekeepers to try and create peace. So if one peace organisation gets the award, the other peace organisation is like, oh, why didn't we get recognised for our work on peace? And it's like, are you missing the concept of peace? You know, are you missing the concept of giving, love, sharing? You're not doing it for gratification. The action is the gratification. The giving, the doing, the being is the gratification right there. Do you see what I mean? And that's when you're in a love vibration, because you're in that love vibration, you don't need anything. Do you see what I mean? Do you see that? It's like, I don't know if you read any of the Tao Te Ching. Have you ever, the Tao Te Ching, have you ever looked at any of those? So there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. And you know, I just pick it up now and again. But, you know, one of the things is that, you know, everything seems to be quite reversed. So, you know, for example, less is more, give to receive. The more you know, the less you understand. You know, there's just like, you know, you know, so many of them. But what I realised from even just looking at some of that text, and what they're doing, and you know, and their ethos is bringing them back to that place. It's just another way to bring you back to a place of allowing. Understanding, humbling yourself that, you know, you don't need to know everything. You don't have to transcend. You don't have to be communicating to angels. You don't have to be, you know, Robert De Niro. You don't have to be having out-of-body experiences every day. You don't have to be doing anything other than really committing and taking responsibility that you are making the choices that really serve you.
Definitely. And this is what I really resonate with as well, because when I first you know, got into the whole spiritual community about 10 or 12 years ago, when I finally found it, when the internet started as well. You know, there's all these psychic classes, and you know, I started to see all these talks and things like that. And I went to all these classes. You know, I tried to be psychic. I tried it 3 times, didn't work.
You're like, it's got to work. It is.
kept leaving the course, it just didn't work. And then I was trying other things to try and see, you know, whether that was going to work as well. But every time I would see somebody up there, it was making me feel disempowered, actually. And I was realising that you don't have to, like just said, you don't have to be all these things to be spiritual, because everyone's got their own unique path that no one else has got in the history of the universe. We've all got something to do here. Just our vibration is special enough.
Exactly.
It doesn't, you know, these skills or whatever that people put on, that we have to be healer, psychic, speaker, facilitator, whatever it is, that's all going to change as well. That's only coming right now as we're just embarking on this massive spiritual revolution. You know, soon when this whole planet starts to awaken on a, you know, mass conscious,
on a mass conscious
level, then every part of life is going to change to accommodate towards that and align towards that. There's going to be much more than people going out and giving talks and things like that. It's going to be a collective, you know, we're going to be creating projects together, we're going to be doing things together, and we've all got specific pieces of that jigsaw which are going to fit in. And not only that, it's like every person we meet, we're fitting in and locking in and saying something and passing and sharing and helping. There's so much going on an energy level that we're not even seeing. And when we're coming from that level, and this is what I realised the whole time, I was putting myself down a lot for not being this kind of person, or not, you know, not getting to this level, because I was still comparing my path to other people's paths.
Totally, still in the out-of-line ego, the untamed ego.
Yeah, and not realising, you know, there's a destiny here that's playing out, because I'm a big believer in destiny, and I'm always getting shown about destiny, and I just love it. Because for me, destiny is like you just surrender to something that's greater than you. That's what I loved about what you said about humility. And I live my life by that. You know, I try to always surrender to something that's bigger than me. Because there is something greater out there. And I know there's this big thing right now which everyone's getting their power back in themselves, which is great. But I think at the same time, we've got to still surrender to something that is greater than us, and that is us at the same time. That's a paradox. You know, greater than us is all of us.
The collectiveness is the greatness. On one level,
And you look at the East and the West, what East and West teaching each other. The West has always been about the individual, and the East has always been about the community. And they're learning the other things now.
You know, have you seen that shift? Have you seen that shift though as well? Because even like in India and other places like that, they're almost moving, in many respects, moving away from that, because they're trying to become more westernized.
That's it.
And then, like you said, you've almost got the westernized people are waking up to like, this is actually not that great.
Exactly.
You know, I don't.
I
don't actually feel. I don't feel loved. I don't feel that, you know, my job's really supporting me. I don't feel that my communication at my home life is very good. You know, my communication with my partner is not great. You know what I mean? It's sort of say, oh yeah, okay, you've got the new stereo, the big house, and, you know, maybe these other objects that are entertaining you. But how I see it more and more is that these objects, and I mean, I've stripped away everything. Not, you know, not saying I'm massively on the Buddhist tip, but I mean, you know, I just realised as well that the objects were taking energy. They were really taking energy. So whilst you're going out to get objects, or you're going out to, you know, obtain these things, whatever they are, don't even need to label them to, you know, for any reason, whatever they are, while you're going out to obtain these things, you're actually distracting yourself from something that is, you know, that is there for you, that you're actually seeking in the things. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're actually seeking, often what we do, we're sort of like, we're a bit lost sometimes. I say we, and people are, I'm not lost, but we're seeking love and happiness and joy, if you want, in exterior things. When the real love, happiness and joy really is in communication, you know, acceptance, love.
All these attachments that we're putting all our identity into. It's like you're saying all that, you know, like I used to drink a lot. And I put a lot of power into that drinking.
Yeah, loads of power. Me too.
Loads of power.
A lot of power went into drinking. I did 15 years. A lot of drinking.
And then it's like, it's the people around me, you know, putting my energy and power into them. You know, they dictate my happiness. Then into partners, they dictate my happiness. So everything they did was like, would affect my happiness. And that's what the attachments were for me. It's like, whatever. So I can never be still inside or, you know, secure, because they would always be changing anyway, because that's what happens. The outside world is always changing.
Constantly.
So I'd always be insecure in that way. I'd never be happy. So I had to change, completely reverse that philosophy and say, actually, look, whatever makes me happy, I have to follow. And when I start to look at it, even on a psychological level, that would affect everyone else in a positive way. Because when you're coming from the heart and you're doing something positive for yourself, it will always affect everyone else in a positive way. And trusting that and going out with that. And when I did that, I started to step away from that. You know, that stillness started to come inside. I started to be secure in myself, and I won't be so thrown about by what's going on outside. My partner might have, you know, a bad day. It won't affect me as it did before.
Yeah.
And my job might start to change and shift and like that. Or my mates might start to, you know, there might be some dramas going on, basically.
Yeah.
And
But you're not getting sucked into that drama.
I'm not getting sucked into that anymore. Whereas before, it'd play on the insecurities in me, which I had anyway, which is from, you know, earlier on. But this is the amazing thing about this whole spiritual growth. It's like, yeah, that's happening, because I'm a big believer in law of reflection as opposed to law of attraction.
Okay, yeah.
Which is about, you know, for me, it's just like, whatever's going inside is outside. That's it. It's that simple for me. Yeah. And it doesn't become about something I want. It's like something that it just is. Then it's about love for me. Yeah. Because attraction for me is still like, there's a consumerism thing within it. I can't put my finger on it, but it does feel like we're still trying to want something and bring it in. Yeah, that we don't already have within. Exactly. Yeah. So we're not actually, we think that we need to become something to attract something almost. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we need something else into our reality first, and then we're attracting the things we need. Yeah. And a lot of the times that law of attraction, interesting, a lot of times it's also wanting exterior, it does come down to, maybe it's the only way that the human mind works like this at the moment, but it does come down to a lot of the times objectual things as well. Yeah. So we don't see the abundance in connection. So we don't see the abundance in communication. I see the abundance in this conversation. Yeah. I mean, it's massively abundant. Exactly. You know, sharing this with you, this conversation with you, and being in this space is a gift. That is abundance. It's abundance for me, and to be able to explore that and share with people, for them to listen and you know, on online, and to have their own unfolding and whatever. That's abundance for me, because it's sending out a ripple of energy. Yeah. You know, and it's not that we're sitting here saying our way is the right way and this is the way you should do it, and you know, that's all that's all wrong. It's saying, stop looking outside for these things and come back to yourself. Because if you do come back to yourself and you really do, like I said earlier, take responsibility, commit to yourself, and because it's layered, isn't it? I just want to pick up on one thing you said, which is we find that spiritual confidence to commit to ourselves, but it's so funny because the outlined ego also plays tricks on us, making us think that certain things are good for us. So what I mean by that is there's this constant, and this was for me, constant transference of what is good for me, still in denial of what I know I need to be doing. Do you know what I mean? Find yourself. Yeah, if that makes sense. So for example, somebody might go, this partner's good for me, they're really good, they're really serving me. Whereas when you're on your own and you're actually really honestly true to yourself, you know that the partner that you're with at the moment isn't right for you. Do you see what I mean? For example, just taking that as an example, or the job or whatever. We touched on this earlier, do you know what I mean? It's come back again. It was obviously supposed to, but do you see what I mean? So it's like, for me, moving deeper and deeper onto this this path of unfolding, which is just exploration of the unknown, because we don't really know anything, do we? Right? No. We're playing with it. But is that the denial creeps in a lot. Do you ever notice that on your unfolding? Like the denial creeps in. So it's like, I'm really peaceful at the moment. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, somebody says something. It's like, you what? You what? Hey, beep, go on your bike. You know, and it's like, well, where did that come from? Well, there's a bed there that's not being dealt with. Yeah. There's always something though, isn't it? And that's the thing. We always think it's like this though. We all think it's going up, spiritual growth and everything, but you know, mine's like that. Yeah. Or even like, you can feel like you're going backwards anyway. Yeah, and big time. I just stop looking at where I'm going anymore, just looking at where you're at. That's it, because I know in the long term, I'm definitely healing stuff that I'm, stuff that I've gone through, you know, when I was younger, all insecurities that I conditioned myself and all of that, I know I'm transmuting them over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the same time, I can't say today, I feel, like you just said, because as soon as I get into that zone where I think, you know, I'm really peaceful, I'm really loving, you know, there's going to be other parts that will come out, and I look at it, the universe will just give me a kick up the backside.
Yeah.
That's got to come out.
Yeah, that's got to come out. You can try to keep that in your socks.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I thought that was a good hiding space. Just leave a little bit of anxiety and depression down there, you know. That's. I was saying to somebody the other day about the how powerful, and again, I call it unconsciousness is. So how powerful and easy it is to slip into unconsciousness, but how sometimes, until it becomes a habit, until you've worked in the subconscious, how it seems to be a struggle to stay in the frequency of love, and that's purely because of the, like you said, the amount of normally pain and fear and resistance that we're holding on to, that we're not really allowing, you know, letting go of. So what happens is that the minute that you almost become out of that present moment of just being here in the magic of, like, I'm a living, breathing organism and I'm having an experience, and that's enough for me. And you know what? I'm going to make sure that the next person I meet, I smile to, or I hug, or I put out some good vibe. If you're in that space constantly, you start to almost reprogram your subconscious to be in that place all the time, and when you get to that level, the world really does become it's like you become a child again, right? It becomes playful again.
Definitely.
But when you're not in it, or like you said, you're doing this, the journey there is really interesting, because the unconsciousness, it just comes up without realising, like a black cloak, doesn't it? Just pops a black cloak over, and you're like, yeah, everything's cool, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm totally unconscious again. Do you ever have any experiences like that?
This is the thing, I mean, for me, what you call unconscious, I used to call a shadow. I think I still call it that, but it's like all the dark side or whatever it is, that since the moment we get here, for whatever reason, you know, there's so many reasons why we do this, we just want to push it behind, we just don't want to look at it. And that all stuff which gets repressed, that unconscious stuff, we can't hide away from it. And that's the funny thing is and it took me a long time to realise this, is that while I might be living on one part of my body and ignoring all that, that's happening all around me, because everything's a reflection anyway. So I'm experiencing my conscious and my unconscious stuff, but wondering why, you know, why the hell is all this unconscious stuff happening in front of me? And I'm trying to get away from it. I could run away, as you know, to the other end of the planet, it'll still be there because it's inside and I'm reflecting it. And it'll come up in other forms anyway. So the biggest part for me is that I've got to shine that light into those dark parts, as much as I don't want to see it, in those people around me, the people that I point the finger at, the people that I judge, the people that I look at and think, you know, why are you in my space? You're annoying me. There's a part inside me which is exactly like you, which is why which is doing that, which is why I need to look at and think, you know, it's like, I love that proverb, you know, the Nigerian proverb with it. So you put one finger at somebody, you put 3 pointing towards yourself, and that is.
Yeah, I love it. And the fun is the witness. Do you get that one? You get that one? I got that from the Swami. As you point one finger at another, you point 3 at yourself. And the fun is the witness.
That's brilliant.
That's my best Indian accent.
That's a good one.
Sorry, so I just sharing that,
so the unconscious stuff is, I know, it's like what you're saying earlier on, right? You're saying we don't have to suffer. I personally don't believe we have to suffer anymore to learn. I know the Buddha said learning is suffering. I think that worked for an old paradigm, the paradigm we just came from. I think all of us are awakening now, we're showing there's a new way. If you're taught this from birth, that to be aware of yourself, you don't need to suffer to learn. So learning is awareness. It completely changed the paradigm, entering a completely new era of living. And we don't have that unconscious stuff anymore, we're scared of it. And that's what unconscious really is. It's like the stuff that we don't want to look at.
Yeah, it's fear.
It's fear, that's it, it's all fear.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that fear, when you look at it, doesn't exist.
No, that's it.
So that's the irony, isn't it? That's the crazy. When you shine that light, there's nothing. You know, it's almost like there's nothing there. Because if you really think about it, I was saying this. I'm going to use this. I'm glad this come up. But if you've got a choice, just in your life, just right here, right now, forget about the future and the past, and you've got a choice of how you feel, an authentic feeling that comes in you. And something makes you feel good and happy, puts a twinkle in your eye, makes you smile, makes you feel warm inside, you know, and I'm talking the genuine, you know, genuine feeling of that warmth inside. And you know that by implementing that into your life, that's going to benefit you and everybody that you touch and hold and so on. And then you have a choice here where you can, you know, whatever it is, go down, you know, anxiety, depression, fear, you know, aggression, competition, being horrible. You know that feeling. That not just me and you, people just know that feeling.
Yeah.
If you have an argument with somebody and you come in and you sit down on the sofa, you don't feel nice.
No,
yeah, you just don't feel nice. So the point is that you created that. Even if you're trying to get your point across in an argument, you've created that. So that feeling doesn't serve you. If it did, why are you feeling like you feel?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see what I mean? So for me, it's very much, as we're moving into this new consciousness, in order to allow people to really play with it, is just look at your own life.
Yeah.
You know, how is it showing up for you? What is your relationship to life?
Yeah.
You know, more importantly, you know, forget even everything else. People want to change the world and, you know, create the next amazing entrepreneurial idea so they can be a global businessman and make loads of money or be the top, you know, whatever. What am I thinking? You know, what am I thinking? I'm thinking of a trader.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, you're going to be a big trader, you know, but, so, you know, whatever it is, if that's stressful, if that's not serving you, don't do it.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
It does come down to that.
Real basics. I know people might go, it's not as easy as that, Simon.
Yeah.
You've got to pay your bills every month. You know, I've got commitments.
Yeah.
I've got children. Yeah. I've got a life that I've got to now create pain for myself to keep. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? You're only here, as you know it, in this body for a short time, very short time, right? We don't know how long we're going to live. People think they're going to live till they're 70, right?
Yeah.
They don't know, do they?
No.
Right? That's sort of the average, isn't it? We're going to live till we're 70.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we're living in the unknown every single second anyway, yet we're running away from the unknown. And I say, just come back to yourself in that present moment, in that moment, and ask yourself, what feels nice?
Yeah.
What feels good?
That's beautiful. That's exactly what it is.
Isn't it?
It is. And it's that illusion, you're right. This is exactly what you create that illusion, support it with all these other belief systems around it, then you feel like you can't get out of it anyway. You know? All your other belief systems will come in just trying to, because there's so much fear to get away from that illusion, you know, that you've created. But it's all an illusion. The belief system's an illusion. Everything is an illusion. And when you put it simply like that, then when you actually realise, because this is what I used to do to myself as well, it's like say, look, what if you were going to, and it is such a, I know it's a cliche, but what if you were going to go tomorrow? Yeah. That actually helps so much, because you realise you are free to do anything you want. You've always been free. No matter what you've told yourself, what commitments you think you have, you're born free and you'll die free, and you've always been free. But you might create belief systems which will limit you and to not feeling free, but you're still free anyway. That's interesting. Not being free. And that's even if you think about the structures, because then people will say to you, so if they hear that, pretend I'm the person that doesn't get what you're saying. Well, I don't create the governments, and I don't create the businesses, and I don't create the taxes, and I don't create the cost of living, and I don't create the cost of the mortgages now, right? And then, but we're free, right? Yeah. But we choose all of that. We choose all of that.
So if we didn't choose it, no supply and demand, baby. Yeah. It's not there.
That's it. And also within that system that we've collectively chosen, the governments and all that social stuff, you can still, if you believe in your freedom and you believe in your self-worth, you can actually do something amazing within that and not be as affected as somebody who doesn't believe in their self-worth. Yeah. And you can still be in that same system. So how does that happen? That just shows it's a paradox of what's going on in this reality. It's just it bends towards what we want. So while the government might be taxing certain things, if you're doing something, let's say you're doing something that's helping people and serving yourself and others at the same time, things can happen. This might sound like magic to people, right? But things can happen that will allow you to just greater serve everyone, including yourself, and just evolve and grow and expand. But how do those things happen? Because doors open and things occur because you're believing in yourself. You're creating a path within seemingly darkness. You're creating your own path within it. There's more people creating these paths. The whole system starts to change. Yeah. And everything's, the whole system starts to light up from inside. And this is what I've always believed in grassroots stuff. And also the governments, you know, they're just a reflection of all of us.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
What we're projecting out there, and that's what it is.
But we project it, then we point the finger.
Exactly. Whether we vote for them or not, it doesn't matter. It's a group for each nation. Like, it's so interlinked anyway, but everyone is projecting this of what we want out there. But I also look at it as, one thing is systems aren't working, but another thing, there's no point pointing the finger, because they're actually helping us in the other way. They're actually showing us, look, there's control here. So they're actually forcing us to stand up. And that's the other thing. We wouldn't be able to stand up if people weren't forcing us to be limited.
Yeah.
And that's the other, that's the, it's like...
Yeah, that's another paradox right there.
That's it. We come to this planet, some people play the light, other people play the dark.
Yeah.
It's got to happen for the light to stand up.
Yeah.
So we can judge all we want what people are playing out there. But really, if they weren't doing what they're doing, you know, other people wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to do the work that I'm doing, for example.
Yeah, because it almost wouldn't be needed.
Exactly. That's it.
Would it?
It's triggering each other.
Yeah, because it is triggering each other.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, if there was no... Because everybody's going on about the suffering and look at the world and see the imbalances and so on. Well, if they wasn't there, we probably wouldn't be talking on the sofa today.
No.
We might be dancing around in the field. No, okay, you know, maybe not.
Flowers,
I'm just picturing me and you now. Just me and you in a field. Go easy, go easy. Yeah, and I like what you said about being inside. I've heard somebody say that before, being inside these certain structures of society and then shining the light within them through your authenticity and through that love vibration, that love frequency, for example. You know, I totally see that and can see how that works, and I do see it working. And I'm also coming from the ethos as well, which is just my own way of looking at things, is that with this new vibration, with this new way of, you know, connecting and communicating and so on, and really nurturing and enhancing other people, what I'm really noticing is that we can create, which is just naturally will happen, new structures as well, based on, you know, sustainability, support, giving, and nurturing, and because love gives. Love is all abundant. It's gives. You know, like you said, there's no duality. It's just this one essence of creation, which is in abundantly filled, and you know, and can support and share and give everybody. You know, the point is that a lot of the times we resist that love. We even resist what it feels like, and you know how it acts and so on. So what I notice more and more is as more people lighten up, wake up, whatever you want to call it, it's going to ripple into these structures and these systems that are out there already. Yeah. And those people that are creating, that people might want to point the finger at, that are in there, got to remember that they are love beings as well. Yeah. Slightly maybe out of aligned, if that's what you want to call it. But when they feel that vibration, like for example, when I woke up and I see that I was causing harm for people, I realised that, I don't want to do that. Yeah. A lot of people that are maybe causing harm, for example, whether it be through the products, the food products, whether it be through certain institutions, organisations and so on, they are in fear. Yeah. That is why they're creating what they're creating. War is fear, right? Yeah. So, you know, these structures, these organisations, the big CEOs of big corporations that are, you know, I mean, I watched a documentary called The Corporation. And there was have you seen that one? Yeah. And you know the guy that had the big carpet tiles, the massive, he owned the big you know, corporation of carpet tiles. It wasn't until somebody asked him to do a talk on green, you know, and how his company is green. I don't know if you remember this one. And through him actually going, how is my company green? I don't know, right? And then looking into it, and then realising what he does with the resources and what he does with his waste and what he does as a organisation, it woke him up to go, whoa, you know, I don't need to create that. I can actually still create carpet, for example, if that's what people want. Yeah. But I don't have to create it like that. Exactly. I can create it like this. And he almost welled up when he was saying that, and I sort of got I always get like a vibration of truth when something is right beyond words. I get like a tingle going over my body. And what was really powerful for me is that his realization, he was so oblivious. He thought he was helping people so much, supplying them with quality, supplying them with a product that everybody wanted, having no clue deep down that he was, you know, causing so much problems down the line. Do you see what I mean?
This is a crazy thing though, because I do feel everyone is seeking love. Every single person, no matter what they're doing, is seeking love. The majority of people are just unaware, just like we're unaware in our personal lives of what's actually going on. When I was working in banks, a lot of people pointing fingers at bankers and traders and what they're doing.
Yeah, well, bankers, they change the B to the W, don't they?
Yeah, too easily with that. But when I met them in there, and I spoke to them, because I was temping there, so they could say anything they want to me because they knew I was going to leave. I didn't know if they weren't threatened by it. But I was speaking to all of them. They all had the same fears, but they were almost like they thought. Everyone has almost the same idea, right? I get enough money, I'll put it into the bank, I go off and live on some island, open a bar somewhere, things like this.
Yeah.
10 years later you meet them, they're still in the bank. What happened?
Yeah.
I got a bonus, I got a pay rise.
Yeah.
That actually locks them in, and then they don't see it. They're working like 8 till 9, 10 in the evenings. Everything, they don't see anyone, it's all becomes stress. But the money actually becomes more stressful because they feel that they're getting more and more money, and they actually start to hoard it more than people are actually more in poverty, which is crazy.
Yeah, they become attached and addicted to the money.
So addicted to it, and all their energy's gone into that money. But when I'm speaking to them, they've got the same desires as anyone else, but they've completely locked into a paradigm where they feel this is going to make me happy. Now, they're completely unaware of that, of what they're doing. Like if you're trading, what are you trading with? If you're a merchant bank, what are you actually selling to in this third world country, which is probably screwing them up? They're completely unaware of that.
They're completely unconscious.
It's not like they're bad people inside, it's that they're completely cut off that this effect will affect that. The interconnectedness with things, which is a deep spiritual truth. People are unaware, and this is where the whole fair trade movement came up, which is such a reflection of what's going on now. It's like, we suddenly realise, I'm like, the coffee that I buy, oh yeah, people grow that.
Yeah.
We completely shut off to that. We just go in and buy the coffee because you sell it.
So not only that, so it's almost like the unconsciousness becomes a distracting drug almost.
Yeah.
Because it actually detaches everybody from actually achieving and being how they want to be. Because, for example, is the banker wanting to save up a chunk of money because he thinks that's his quest to get a place in a third world country, for example, like an island, and have a thing? Is he desiring that because he's got this whole stress and anxiety and this gun-ho idea of work, and he thinks he's working towards something, so that creates the desire to be there? Or if he was even in a place like we are, in a place of letting go and allowing and just being in the joy of life every moment, would he even want to be a banker? Would he even want the money? And would he even necessarily want to live on an island and sell coconuts?
Well, exactly.
Do you see what I mean? Because then when you let go of all of that, because all of that for me is almost unconscious running away, and actually let go of all these structures, like you said, that the filter is just damaging third world countries, and and the line is just so, because it's so unconscious. Yeah. The whole line's unconscious, isn't it? Yeah. Even from wherever it's going, from where you're buying your top, where you're getting your coffee, from the oil that we use, from everything in this room being made from oil, but we just all go, oh yeah, we're not doing anything to cause the problem with the oil. Exactly. Oh, it's gone up again. We're not doing anything to cause that. Yeah. That's the organisations. You're buying stuff constantly all day long, which is made from oil. Right? So the more you buy and the more you want and the more oil's needed, the inflation's going to continue to rise.
The demand will be there and it's going to carry it.
Right. Yeah. So people go, don't stop using fuel at Esso and BP and we can change the world. It's like, how is that going to stop? How's that? Everybody's going to go, oh, I need my car. I need to drive. Oh bugger. I need my life to continue. I'm not sure I want to stop using oil. I want to go out at the weekend and shop. I want to go and continue to perpetuate this three-dimensional reality. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So it's layered, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But
this is the thing. It's like you're saying. I do feel like everyone's placed in such strategic positions who are awakening, and there's people in every single position now. In every part of society, all those layers that we're talking about, and everyone's awakening. As they're doing that, there's people in the old systems awakening within that, and
politics,
changing it. Yeah. But there's people who want to create new systems and doing that. It's like everyone's got their part to play now, and you can look at one point of view, which a lot, when I speak to a lot of my mates about it, they look at the world and think, it's a mess. Nothing's going to change it, because when you look at it from that point of view, it's chaotic. Yeah. But you're looking from another point of view, there's a divine purpose. There is purpose in every single thing going on. There's a web going on that we can't see. Yeah. And that's how synchronicity works, because it can't work without a purpose going on the planet. Two people can't make a connection which happens, which has a deep purpose, without every single other thing on the planet having some connection as well, because everything
totally,
affects
'cause
each other.
everything's interconnected.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
totally.
have something in meaning, everything has to have meaning. Every single thing we do. So even the bad things, the good things, whatever you want to label it, in the polarity, it doesn't even matter. Everything's got that meaning. So once we step into that and realise, we look at it from that perspective, we don't need to understand how it works.
Yeah.
The mind won't understand, because
Yeah.
that's infinite, this is finite.
Yeah.
So we just surrender to, it works, I'm going to step out and I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to step out, I'm going to do something into the unknown, and know that the unknown is love.
Exactly.
The unknown is love.
Yeah.
And we're in it constantly, and we were born out of it.
Yeah.
We were born out of the unknown, into the unknown, and we live in the unknown, yet we all run away from it. Whereas the unknown is the love, right? So stay in the unknown, and don't even think that you need to work it all out. You don't need to work 25 years to save up £100,000 to go and live in your paradise.
Why waste
them 25 years?
Yeah, why waste 1 minute of your life for something else that, for future that may or may not happen anyway?
Yeah.
Are you going to be that much happier at that point anyway to enjoy it, when you could enjoy a job that you want to work 7 days a week on because you love it that much? Be surrounded by people who support you. You want to go into work, right? And you don't care if you get paid or not, but the fact that you're getting paid for something you love to do, that's a bonus in itself.
Yeah.
Everything works out. The people you're surrounded by are supporting you, want the same things, want to give you ideas. You're in a creative outlet as well. And this is another thing. I think all of us are creative by nature.
Yeah.
I know people think creative is like artists or musicians or things like that. I think all of us are creative, and most of the jobs that aren't creative, you're told what to do and you're supposed to repeat it. It's like we go to school, right? In history, they just regurgitate the information. None of it's creative anymore, that education system, and that's breaking down. No wonder everyone's like all this ADHD, which they're getting. All of us have got that in some form or another, because there's that ADHD is really about, I've got a lot of energy, I'm a highly energetic being who can do
infinite possibilities.
You're telling me to repeat what you just told me.
Yeah,
that's going to make me go crazy.
Which is
what's happening. It's like, I can't sit down here. They've got to get up and move. These kids need to be taught like 5 things at once. Give them as many languages as once. That's what they need. As much information. That's what they can process.
They're sponges.
That's it. And all this whole system of how we're everything out there. If it's creative, if you're doing something creative where you're thinking yourself, what can I put into this? Then you start to get alive. I'm like, what? You're asking me?
Yeah. Well, you're nurturing, right? It's almost like it's interesting you say about people who are all creative. If you think about it, and this is another wonder that I stepped into, and I don't know if you see it like this. Every single second is creation, right?
Yeah,
We're creating right now. You've just spoken, we're changing words, we're exchanging things. Our eyes are visioning everything that's going on right now. We've got digestive explosions going on in our body at this point in time. I can feel heat in my feet. We've got the sounds going on outside. I mean, it's constant creation. The air, the oxygen's coming in, which is creating, breathing mechanisms going on in my body. I mean, we're instantly, we're creating in every second from our ideas. We're having 25 ideas. I'm talking to you and, I'm listening, and then these ideas are coming out, and and I'm visioning like the way the world is and the way it could be, and the people. Yeah. I'm seeing the bankers. You know what I mean? I'm creating like this whole visual experience right this second. So I think people have also sort of almost missed that element of creation and put it down to, I've got to make a sofa, or I've got to, then I'm a creative person, or I've got to do an art. I've got to do an art drawing.
Got the wrong idea of what.
Creation is you're in the big ball of mass creation.
That's it.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
And people might go, I think going on holidays like in the wonder, in the magic. I mean, maybe I'm cracking up, but I feel that I'm in the magic on this sofa in this room right now, in this experience of just being alive, to be able to speak and to be able to see. And I know that obviously some people don't have the ability to see, so but they have other abilities that come from that. They have the ability to feel more and sense more and hear more.
That's it, and they're still experiencing reality. Everyone's experiencing on some level.
Yeah, experiencing and creating is almost just one again, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, experiencing, creating, unknownness, blissness is all just one thing. When you sort of come away from the judging and the thinking that, like we said, that the world's so bad, and come into that space, it's just magical, you know?
Yeah, you can can't even say anything to that. That's, you know.
It's just, you know.
As you're saying that, do you know what I'm feeling? It's like we forget the fact that each moment. This is the thing with the past, you know. In the past and the future, none of those exist, and we can say as much as we want, but we're constantly having to remind ourselves because we're living in a linear time frame where everything's which seems to be one moment happening after the other. But that's just our perceptions. You know, we're trained to see in that way, and that new universe, that new creation, which is happening every single instant. When we realise it's each instant that's happening, we don't need to be tied by what happened before. That's in our heads anyway. It doesn't exist anywhere else apart from in there.
Yeah.
And for you, what happened for you in there, nowhere else. It doesn't exist anywhere in the universe. It's happened.
Yeah.
And we can go back into that reality if we want to and experience something that we felt, but no one else is experiencing that. Only we are. And we assume that everyone else is experiencing that reality with us.
Yeah.
When we think back on the past, no one is. It just exists in that little memory box that we've decided is happening right now. But the problem is we get so locked into those past events that we forget that not only if they happened, we're changing the way they've happened anyway, because we're changing every single moment anyway.
Yeah.
So we're changing the way we look at those things and interact with those things. And what we're affecting this moment right now, and what we're reflecting outside right now, that's what's constantly being affected. We can let it go in an instant if we understand that simple truth.
Yeah.
And it will just disappear. And yeah, it will get back in because we're living in a linear thing, but we're being trained to let go of it constantly. And there will come a time, and I totally believe this, where we are just living this moment. And it doesn't matter what I did yesterday or what happened or anything, because I realised, one, it was perfect. It couldn't have happened any other way because there's a destiny going on. And, you know, it was yesterday, today's today. And I can look back at it and think, wow, you know, I can enjoy it. But if it's going to bring me down or limit me in any way, you know, I'll learn from it, because that's different, because that's awareness. You know, if I've done something which is affecting somebody else, and I'll learn from that. But that comes hand in hand with awareness anyway. We don't have to look at it, analyse and think, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, because that's blame again. Like, awareness is like it's going on in the background, the spirit is doing it anyway. We look at it and we think, yeah, you know, I can see already, I'm already going to change anyway. I don't need to analyse myself. Analysing is more mind stuff. It happened, it was perfect, my spirit is going to take care of it, I'm going in with the next experience. Just step into it, keep stepping out. And because my whole life I felt held back by my past, because I've always been, you know, looking at my past, you know, what I've done, what I've got, you know, judging myself,
regrets.
Regrets, all this stuff. Universe isn't doing that, why am I doing it? Universe is not pointing its finger, looking, you know, have a look at this, what you did, and poke at me. Yeah. Look at that. It doesn't care. It doesn't even exist in that moment. It's existing right now. It's just watching me, probably laughing, just amused that I'm, whatever I'm doing, because it's not judging at all what I'm doing. Just watching me enjoying the game. Just watching. Just watching.
Just watching. I think that's a beautiful summary.
Yeah.
I think you summarised that. Yeah, there was a lot there, wasn't there? There was a lot. That was a.
Yeah, we could talk for hours, I think.
Yeah, no, totally. That was, you know, it's really, really amazing. Yeah, just great. These talks, I love them.
Yeah,
I hope you guys watching love them, because if you don't, you know, I'm assuming you do because you've watched for an hour. So otherwise you're just there watching, judging us the whole time. Basically, yeah, I mean, you know, we've been all around the houses there, and that was just, for me, a really. These are the sort of conversations and the sort of communication that I feel is the new consciousness. And the more that we have these, and don't try to, you know, try to be right, or it's our way, or, you know, it's got to be like this, but try to really come back to the whole unknownness and the wonder of this experience on a planet revolving around in a galaxy somewhere out there. You know, basically, you know, they're just, you know, this is what it is for me. So I hope you enjoyed it. And Vaz, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's hugs. It's hugs all round.
It is hugs.
Nice one. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
And thanks for joining us. Take care.